In May's AILA Interview of the Month, Managing Immigration Attorney of the Dolores Street Community Services, a member of the San Francisco Immigration Legal Defense Collaborative, Camila Herrera, shares how renewed funding by the city for the SFILDC will help provide representation to unaccompanied minors and families in immigration court. What does SFILDC do?
SFILDC provides pro bono legal representation to unaccompanied children and families who live in San Francisco and are facing expedited removal proceedings here. One thing that makes SFILDC really special, I think, is that we are able to represent not just unaccompanied children, but also adults with children on these surge dockets. At least here in California, there have been some other government and philanthropic efforts to assist unaccompanied children, but there really haven't been many other efforts to help the adults with children, predominantly mothers, who find themselves not just on these surge dockets, but also having to deal with stringent reporting requirements through ICE and the ISAP program. So SFILDC is able to provide legal representation to this population as well. Something else that SFILDC attorneys do is help staff the surge dockets before the San Francisco Immigration Court through the Bar Association's Attorney of the Day program. Through this program, SFILDC attorneys and other volunteer attorneys are able to appear with thousands of other unaccompanied children and adults with children who, from Northern and Central California, who have to appear at these master calendar hearings without legal representation.
How is SFILDC structured?
Well, SFILDC is comprised of 13 San Francisco-based legal service organizations. 10 of these organizations provide direct service representation, including mine, Dolores Street Community Services. 2 of the other organizations provide us with technical assistance, and one of the organizations is a liaison between the San Francisco Immigration Court. We are led by a lead attorney and coordinator from the Bar Association of San Francisco who lead legal meetings, strategy, and advocacy efforts between our 13 organizations.
The mayor of San Francisco renewed the funding. Why is it so important to have the city's support?
We could not represent hundreds of these children and families who are on these surge dockets without the city's continued support. In 2014, when the surge dockets first began, local service providers were just inundated with requests for services and representation for these children and families living and studying here in San Francisco and who could not find legal representation. And as we all know, these are children and families who are fleeing just rising levels of violence in their home countries, and that is why they're here. We're really fortunate that the city, the mayor, and the Board of Supervisors have continued their commitment to providing representation for these children and families who are still arriving. And we really hope that this is a call to action for other local governments and, the federal government to provide due process protections and representation to the hundreds of thousands of other children and families who find themselves on these expedited dockets without legal representation.
Thank you, Anna, for joining us.